Here we go. Here we go. It says I'm live and we're starting in 46 seconds. Let me do a little housekeeping on the camera there. My squeaky chair. Sip of water. There we go. Hopefully things are working. Let me check. Awesome. Hi, everybody. We're outside. We're starting in 13 seconds. It looks like the audio is working properly. Good to see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Welcome to this live English lesson. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Well, actually, that was 0, wasn't it? Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson where we're going to spend some time outside. In spite of the fact that it is quite windy, you can see some leaves moving on the trees. It's also a little bit cold, which is okay. I don't mind the cold. This is the first time I'm wearing a jacket this year. So I'm happy to be here, happy to teach you a little bit of English. I just ran in and got my light because usually I have a light on my face and I didn't, and it was very dark sitting here in the shade. So I think I'm ready to go now. I'll say hi to Kakachen, Hafiez, Vitor, Lolly Lolly, Adriana, Tomnik, Mode Eggs is here. Mode says, I almost forgot. Ralph is here. Know That is here. Let's see. We have Ismail, Kevin, Trudy, Adriana, Dashir, Conan, Know That. Oh, said Know That already. Know That says, what a beautiful driveway. It is very nice. I am very much enjoying walking on stone instead of walking on mud. Let me give you guys a view of the river cam while I check the audio and make sure everything is working. Looks like it. And let's see here. Hafiez says, nice work on the French drain. Yes, our hope is that right there, this little thing here, you can see it better on this screen, helps to take the water away from the house. It's on a slope. It goes from all the way over there. I think it's 40 or 50 feet long. It might be 60 feet long. And hopefully it will bring all of the water away from our house. But hey, we're not here to talk about driveways. We're here to learn some English. Here's how this works. There is a form. The questions from the form get put on the screen right here. And I try to answer as many of them as possible. So if you have a question, Nightbot will link the form in the chat. If a member types !link, let me just do it as an example, it will also share it. I usually also put the link in the description below, which I didn't do, but in a moment it will magically appear there. If you need to look down below in the description, you will find it there as well. An unprepared Bob is still a happy Bob. So hopefully you can find that link below, down there below the video, that you can use to ask a question. There are already questions coming in. Let's see here. Oh, in the chat, Amin says, what is your profession? I am a teacher. My secondary career is YouTuber. My third career is helping Jen on the farm. So farmer. Oh, I just answered a question from the chat. I shouldn't do that. It encourages more questions. Mode says to Know That we missed you yesterday. Yes, you were suspiciously absent. Probably busy doing something important. No need to pry, but I'm sure whatever you were doing was more important than learning English. Let's see here. What should we do? Should we start the lesson? I think we should. Let me see if there are some questions coming in. There are. As usual, you guys never disappoint me. This first one is going to be a little tricky to explain. Know That says, hi Bob, or hello Bob. In what context slash situations do you commonly use to get on with somebody? And am I correct that it has more of a negative meaning? Thanks in advance. We don't use this very much in North America. I think it's a little more British. We usually use to get along with someone. I think in Britain, in the UK, they might use that phrase. I'm just going to check the origin. Like, honestly, to have a friendly relationship, we almost always say to get along with someone. Oh, they get along really well. Does he get along with his sister? Do you have friends that you get along with? I don't think it has a negative meaning in the UK where it is used, but here we would say to get along with someone. From Ruslan, thanks, Know That, for that question. From Ruslan, hello, dear Teacher Bob. No questions, sir. Thank you for your great, positive and useful lessons. Best wishes from Russia. You are welcome, Ruslan. I hope you have a good day. From Jung, hi, Bob. How are you? Good. Next week is Thanksgiving Day in Korea. When is Thanksgiving Day in Canada, and what kind of celebration is done on the day? So it's in the middle of October this year. I think it's actually quite late. I think it's as late as, let's see here. Is it the 14th of October? I have to check here. I think it's the 14th of October this year. And generally, it's a day where people get together with family. People usually have Thanksgiving dinner. Generally, people eat turkey, sometimes ham, and then things like potatoes and vegetables and really yummy buns and things like that. But yes, it is normally a holiday. It's usually a day spent with family and usually spent eating too much. That's what I do sometimes. Let's see here. From Sanka, after a long time, good to see you again. Yes, nice to see you as well. Thanks for joining this live lesson. Hopefully you are enjoying it so far. From Renata, hi, Bob. I know siblings means brothers and sisters, and nibblings means nephews and nieces. What about piblings? Does it mean cousins or uncles and aunts? Thanks. So first of all, I use the word siblings. Like when I say my siblings, I'm talking about my brothers and sisters. I have never seen the word nibblings before. I don't know that at all. And I don't know about piblings. Normally I just say nephews and nieces. And normally I just say cousins. That would be the correct way to say it. So who's coming to the family dinner? Oh, my nephews and nieces, my uncles and aunts, my cousins. That's how I would describe it. And then my siblings. Or you could just say brothers and sisters as well. From Rohit. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. What's the meaning of the name Bob? So my real name, drum roll please. My real name is Robert. Bob is a short form of the name Robert. Sorry, someone said I should check my audio. Let me do that for a second. And you're going to kind of laugh because I think the meaning of the name Robert is of bright, shining fame. I did not mean to become a YouTuber. Audio sounds good. Robert is an old German name that means bright fame or of bright, shining fame. So I'm obviously not German, but Robert, I guess, means I'm famous. I don't really feel famous. I'm just a guy that lives on a farm that does English lessons. But I had to laugh that after over 50 years of being on this planet, I've lived up finally to the meaning of my name. So at this point in time, I'm not going to say I'm famous, but I'm recognizable in some places. Mode says, hey Bob, Soup had a straight job. I don't even know what I'm saying here. Sorry. How would you use the phrase 6 ways to Sunday? So Soup had a straight job is a lyric. It's a line from a song by the Crash Test Dummies called the Superman song. And I think it was the song of the week last week, right? It's a good song. I like it. Canadian band. 6 ways to Sunday. I don't use that phrase very often. It probably means every which way. Like it means a million different ways. I think sometimes these are phrases that you might learn in a lesson. Yeah, thoroughly, completely, in every way imaginable. It's not that common, right? Like I would probably use the phrase, like, I tried it every which way. That's probably more common than 6 ways to Sunday. I was trying to get tickets to fly to Washington, and I called them. I tried online. I used the app. I tried it every which way. That would be a little more common. From Shanu, who are there in your family? So how would I ask this question? how many people are in your family or who's all in your family. I don't even know if the second one is totally grammatically correct, but that's the informal way I would ask it. Hey, who's all in your family? So there's a couple ways for me to describe this. If you're asking about me personally and my kids, it's myself, Jen, and we have 5 kids. We have 3 boys and 2 girls. If you were talking about my larger family, I would say my mom is still here. My dad passed away, and I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. So there's a couple different ways, depending on whether you were asking about me and my kids, or if you were asking about my siblings and my mom and dad. Let's see. Dev says, can you please tell your story from childhood till now? That's a long story. Obviously, I'm not going to tell it here, but I was born way back in 1971, and I lived on this farm. I grew up on this farm. We had cows. I went to school. I went to high school. I went to university. I became a teacher. In there, at one point, I lived in Quebec to improve my French. Eventually, I met Jen. We got married. We bought the farm from my mom. We had a bunch of kids, and now I'm 53 years old. So I'm moving right along. As time goes by, the story gets longer. Maybe in a lesson in the future, I will tell the whole story in a little bit more detail. Henry from Taiwan. Hi, Teacher Bob. Does your school offer physical exams for all teachers regularly? How often do you get a medical check? Thank you. So the school doesn't, but in Canada, we do not pay for healthcare. It's free to go and see the doctor. And so after the age of 45 or 50, you start to go for regular checkups. I go to the doctor quite often because I had heart surgery a few years ago, but most people will go for a regular checkup every year, maybe every other year after the age of 50. And it depends as well on something called family history or family medical history. If someone like if one of your parents or someone in your family had a certain type of problem, they might want to see you more often in case you have the same problem. Toda says, can you name a few places in India? I can't. I know there's Bombay. I should really go to India, shouldn't I? I know Sri Lanka's off the coast of India. I don't want to cause any political problems here. I know India is a gigantic country with lots of people. And I was trying to think. I think I worked with someone in India once. We were doing a programming project, and he was in charge of a certain set of subroutines. Lots of very smart programmers in India. From Deepu, Mo says, Mr. Robert is doing an autobiography on the spot. Yes, I was telling everyone about my entire life. Hey, why don't you guys have a nice view of the river? I'll put my little face up in the corner so you know I'm still here. I'm going to have a sip of water, and then we will continue with some questions. And again, you can ask questions about me. You can ask questions about English. You can ask questions about trees or birds or the French drain behind me. It's up to you. Let me get the next question on the screen. Here we go. Judith says, hi, Bob. An unprepared Bob is a happy Bob. Great. How many days are you happy in a week? Thanks. And in a month, by Judith. So I think I've answered this before, and the answer remains the same. If I get a good night's sleep, and if I have time to go for a walk in the morning, I am generally happy. Like 9 times out of 10, that works for me. If I don't sleep well, if I don't have time to go for a walk, and by walk, I don't mean a leisurely stroll. Like this is like shorts and a t-shirt and walk as fast as I can, get my heart rate up. If I sleep well and have a good walk, I am happy. I slept pretty good last night. I didn't go for a walk yet today, but I'm still feeling pretty chipper. That would be how I would describe my mood in English right now. From Monkey, what day of the week, little fix there, do you stream on YouTube? I'm a newbie. So every Friday morning now at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yesterday we did a lesson on common sounds. So if you were here yesterday, you would have caught that lesson. And so that is again Fridays at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I do this outdoor live stream the first Saturday of every month. Eventually it will be an indoor live stream when it starts to snow and get really, really cold. But that is my schedule. So 5 live streams a month about every Friday morning, and then 1 Saturday each month. Did I skip a question? Let's see here. Did I skip this question? Let's see. Dipu, 3 of your favorite movies. How did I skip that? I must have forgot. So anyways, my 3 favorite movies. I like The Martian with Matt Damon. Great movie. I really enjoy, like, the first Lord of the Rings. I really like. The other ones are okay. And I do like the Avengers Endgame. I think I like all the Avengers movies. Those are pretty good. Now, this changes. I've probably answered this question before and had different answers, but usually The Martian is number 1, and the other ones, your favorite things change a little bit over time, right? Okay, let's get to the next question. Tomic says, hi, do you watch NFL sometimes? So NFL is the National Football League. It's American football. The season starts right about now and it goes till February. I don't usually watch football, but I do watch 1 or 2 games the week or 2 before the Super Bowl. I do like to watch the Super Bowl every year, but I like to kind of know which teams are playing. I do like to watch them a little bit. So I do watch, end of January, I watch maybe Wild Card Weekend, it's called, or the actual divisional playoffs. I do watch those. So lots of people talking in the chat. Very, very cool. See a few questions there. Try to get them into the form, and I will try my best to answer them. From Ralph. Hi, Bob. Nice to see you twice in a week in a live stream. Yeah, it's fun the first week of the month. No questions today. Just watching and hoping to see some enjoyable questions popping up. I do too. I like the questions that I get. They're kind of fun. I just want to make sure my river cam is still working. This week has been a week of me talking a lot. So I'm sipping a lot of water because school started this past Tuesday. And we had kind of a different kind of day yesterday, but I did talk a lot yesterday as well. So I don't have a sore throat, but I feel like I talked way more over the last 4 days. And then now I'm finishing up the week with a live stream. So even more talking, which I don't mind. I do like talking. Let's see here. I think we did that one. Here we go from Unsel. Get it on the screen here. Unsel says, hi, unfortunately, most of us spend a lot of time on social media without realizing it. How do you deal with this problem? Thanks. Have a great day. Bye. Here's how I deal with it. So I really like YouTube. I don't really spend a lot of time on Instagram or Facebook, or I don't go on Snapchat ever. I don't have Be Real. I think some of the newer ones I just never really started using. My kids like Be Real, but I don't use it. So for me, the biggest problem is YouTube. So I kind of tried to decide, am I learning something or am I being entertained? And I try to limit the amount of entertainment that I watch on YouTube. I don't mind, if I'm learning something on YouTube, I don't mind spending time on it. So I guess I avoid it by not really going on some of the other platforms, like the super social platforms. And then when I'm on YouTube, I try to make sure I'm focusing on learning new things. From Mubashir, I can't watch movies without subtitles, and it's hard to understand native speakers because they're too fast. Please give me tips to overcome this. So for the movies, there's 2 things you can do. One, you can watch it in segments. So watch a 10-minute segment with subtitles on, and then this is kind of boring. Watch that 10-minute segment again right away with subtitles off, okay? You can also watch the entire movie with subtitles on, and then wait a week, and then watch the entire movie with subtitles off. But when you're watching a 1.5 or 2 hour movie, it can be a long time. It might work better with TV shows. If you watch a 20-minute TV show with the subtitles on, and then watch it again with the subtitles off. The second thing you can do, and maybe you're already doing this, you can slow down the speed of the video. So if you're watching, it's tough with native speakers. You can't slow someone in real life down. But if you're watching a movie, try to slow it down to 90% or 85% speed, and it might be a little easier to understand. Hafia says, yes, I'm guilty of that YouTube screen time. Others I'm okay with since I don't use them much. Yes, I'm in the same boat, Hafia, is related to the last question. And Mubashir, with native speakers, sometimes, depending on their personality, letting them know that you would appreciate it if they slowed down a bit might help. Like if it's someone you work with regularly. A little harder if you're talking to a stranger, like someone serving you at a restaurant or something like that. I'm going to skip the next one because it's kind of a political kind of thing. Answer, Redfish. Do you ever lie about your age? There's no reason to. It's obvious if you look at the color of my hair, which is strikingly similar to this microphone. If I was to say I'm 40 years old, people would probably know. If you look at my forehead, let me try to get, you can see that there are some wrinkles. You can see that even the hair on my beard is gray. I guess I could tell people I'm 48. Like, I don't know how low I could go, and I don't know why I would. So, do you ever lie about your age? No. Did I ever lie about my age when I was younger? No. No, I don't really see the point in doing that. But don't ask me if I ever lie to take a sick day off work. I hope my boss isn't watching. No comment. I will not comment on that one. If you're feeling under the weather, that's the same as feeling sick. Bence says, hi Bob, which countries did you visit earlier in Europe, and where are you interested in traveling to, or where would you like to go? That's how we would ask that. I would love to go to France. I would love to go to the Netherlands. Those are the top two still on my list. I would like to see more of the United States. When I went to visit Brent from American English with Brent, that's his YouTube channel, it was fun to see the state of Maine. It was fun to have a lobster roll by the ocean. So I think I'd like to see more of the US, and that is simple for Jen and I to do because we live close to it. Let's see here. Mohammed, please help me with some common phrases that are used for school teachers because I got a job as a teacher. Common phrases. I should do a lesson on this, but off the top of my head, it's like quiet down. That's a pretty good one. Quiet down. Let's get started. Your attention, please. Get back to work. I don't say it that way. Usually I say something like, okay, enough talking. Let's get some work done. It's a friendlier way to say get back to work. Please hand in, or please read this, or please finish lesson 12 from the textbook. Turn to page 11. That's a good one. That's it for today. Your homework is to finish the assignment we started on in class. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but those are all the things that I probably said today. From Teresa. Hello, Bob. How can I improve my speaking? Thanks in advance and many blessings for you and your family. So a number of ways to improve your speaking, depending on if you have a speaking partner or not. If you don't have a speaking partner, practice talking out loud. Talk about the things you're doing as you do them. Read things out loud. Watch videos and hit pause and then say what the person just said, and then hit play, listen, hit pause and say what the person just said. If you have a speaking partner, or simply getting a speaking partner can be quite helpful. That would be the best thing to do, in my opinion. Everything you do when learning a language improves if you have a speaking partner that you can talk to each week. It's just super good. It's a good idea. Hafia says, haha, if I lie about my age, it'd be unintentional. Usually I'm off by a year or 2 years younger. I might be subconsciously in denial that I'm getting older. That's from the chat from Hafia's. Yeah, actually earlier this summer, I forgot how old I was one time. I was like, oh, how old am I again? What? And then I figured it out because I remember what year I was born in. That's always helpful. Let's see here from Tina. Hello, Bob. Is it okay to say they ride a bike to school instead of they ride bikes to school if there is more than one bike involved. So, how do your kids get to school? Oh, they ride their bikes to school. That's how I would say it. They ride their bikes to school. How does your kid get to school? Oh, he rides a bike to school. So the first one is very much singular. Like I wouldn't use they. I would say like, my daughter rides a bike to school. How does your kid get to school? Oh, my kid rides a bike to school. And then when I go plural, I would say they ride bikes to school or they ride their bikes to school. Sorry, I might have explained that really, really quickly. Hopefully that made some sense for you. It's a beautiful day here. Like it's a little chilly. My feet are a little cold. But I'm glad I have my jacket on. It's nice and sunny though. Like it's a beautiful sunny day. You can see on this camera that it's quite sunny behind me. This camera is adjusting a little bit to the light automatically. But yes, it's definitely a very good day. Let's see. In the chat, Mo says, oh, Addict English with Mr. Duncan. Yeah, Mr. Duncan is cool. I've seen some of his videos on YouTube. Ruslan says, how do your students address you? Mr. and then my last name. Sometimes they say sir. That's a good one. Let's get this question on the screen from Sihan. What do you think is the most challenging aspect of learning English for non-native speakers, and how can they best overcome it? So I would say two things would give me a lot of trouble if I was learning English. One would be phrasal verbs and idioms. So things like, you know, when you have a phrasal verb and it's like, it doesn't actually mean what it looks like it means, right? So for instance, if I said, my son is going out with a really nice girl, it actually means they're dating. To go out with someone means that you're dating, that you like each other romantically. My son's not, by the way, as far as I know. And then the second would be probably the way we scrunch and crunch our sentences down. Like the classic example is, how are you doing today becomes, how are you doing today? Like we really, in spoken English, in informal spoken English. So both of those are best overcome just through a lot of exposure, a lot of listening, a lot of reading, a lot of watching like reality TV shows where they use that type of language. That would be very cool. From Rodrigo, what self-study routine do you recommend for learning English? So what worked for me and still works for me, because I'm a French learner, even though I teach French, I'm still constantly learning French, would be this. You need to do some reading, writing, listening, and speaking. You need to learn new vocabulary and learn a bit of grammar each week, and you have to find a speaking partner. So if you want, you can break those things into each day of the week. So on Monday, you can focus on reading, Tuesday, writing, Wednesday, listening, Thursday, speaking, Friday, you learn some vocab or vocabulary and some, or whatever works for you. But I would also say 30 minutes to an hour a day, 5 to 6 days a week. I would probably say an hour a day, 6 days a week is probably very, very helpful if you want to make progress. I would highly recommend that. And not, you know, my plan doesn't necessarily work for everyone either, right? Like there's different ways. There's different ways to do it. So I'm laughing at the next question. Hello, teacher. How many cups do you have? Like this kind of cup? I don't know. One for sure. I use this cup outside because it has a lid and then bugs can't get into my water. But in the house, we just have lots of cups because we have lots of kids. So let's see here. From Alexander. Hi, Bob. Are you familiar with the IELTS test? Is it the best way to immigrate to Canada? I heard that your country has some demographical problems. So I'm not sure about the last thing, but I'm not sure which test we require. I think it is IELTS, but you would have to do some research. I know there is a test of Canadian French as well that you can do later. But I would say if you are looking to immigrate to Canada, do a search for how to immigrate to Canada. There's a Government of Canada website that will explain everything that you need to know. Let's see here. Diligent learning. Bob, what's the difference between melody and tune? And I heard the word dimension in my listening practice. Would you please explain what it actually means? So melody and tune are very similar. Like if you sing a Taylor Swift song, the part she is singing is the melody, but you could also say it's the tune of the song. Melody would be definitely, though, the main part that the person sings, not the words, like the notes that are in there. And then dimension. So there's a couple meanings. One is like my phone, the dimensions of my phone, it's about 12 centimeters by 18 centimeters, maybe a little less than that. So dimensions can refer to that. We can see things in 3D, like 3-dimensional drawings. So that refers to the fact that it has depth. So tricky to give all the meanings because there are quite a few of them. Hey, we're going to do members only chat. If you are not a member, don't worry. You can still hang out. It only lasts for about 10 minutes, and it is a way that I thank my members for being members. So if you are a member, you can ask a question directly in the chat. Just a sec, let me hit the button on my camera to make sure it is still on. I think I say this every year. I really hope I could do a couple more outdoor lessons as the fall goes on. I think last year I might have done one in October, but by November it gets a little tricky. It's a little hard to be outside at that time of year. Hafia says, Walter sounds like a seagull. Yeah, there were just a couple Canadian geese flying by. That's probably what you were hearing. Let's see here. Continuing from the forum while I wait for some questions, Vitor says, How do you deal with the sound of your voice? I feel strange when I record and listen to my voice. Yes, when I record my voice and listen to it, it sounds like my brother. I still haven't had my brother on a live stream, but we sound very similar. So I always find it's a little weird when I hear my own voice. There's not much you could do about it, though. It's just what your voice sounds like, and not a whole lot you can do. From Know That, I recently came across the phrase, a 5-finger exercise, Bob. Is this phrase synonym commonly used? Could you explain the meaning of it and maybe give some examples of how it can be used? I have not heard of that before, of a 5-finger exercise. Let's look it up. What is a 5-finger exercise? I'm familiar with 5-finger discount. So it says a 5-finger exercise is to practice musically. So I guess for piano. You might be thinking of a 5-finger discount, though. A 5-finger discount means that you steal something. If you see something in a store and you like it and you take it without paying, we sometimes call it a 5-finger discount. So I think that might be what you are referring to, possibly. Otherwise, a 5-finger exercise sounds like something people do when they're playing piano. Know That says, thanks, Bob. No problem. Vitor says, thanks, Bob. No problem. Hafiz, not a question, but I went on a YouTube rabbit hole on cuckoo clocks yesterday. I might even get one, a genuine one from Germany. Haha. So yesterday we were talking about common sounds. I think I mentioned that we did a lesson yesterday. And during the lesson, at one point, we inadvertently talked about cuckoo clocks for a little bit. Cuckoo, cuckoo. So some people were going to do some research. Lolly Lolly, on what day do you switch to winter time in Canada? I think that happens in November. When does DST end? It looks like November 3rd. So the Friday lessons will be at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, at least till the end of October. But that's a good question. We do switch from daylight savings time to regular Eastern Standard Time in a few months. Mode, hey, Mr. Bob, how are you at skipping stones? Do you have like a special name for it in Canada? I know it's so random, sorry. I'm okay at it. I'm not an expert. We just call it skipping stones. You go down to the river or the lake and you throw a stone. You kind of have to throw it like this, and you try to find flat stones because they skip better. And then you angle the stone when you throw it so it kind of hits the water like that. I'm not going to the world championships for stone skipping anytime soon, but I am okay at it. Let's see. No, that says, like you, my vacation is over since last week and I'm back at work since this week, Bob. I missed you all yesterday too. I'll see if I can stop by every now and then. Yes, work sometimes gets in the way of doing the things you want to do. No, that says, but Saturdays shouldn't be a problem. Awesome. Lolly says, thanks, Bob, for your answer. No problem. Freddie Wolf. Bob, I just want to pop in to ask you about it's chilly, cold, or chill out, or chillax, relax. Does chill have any common meanings in this case? Or is it just a coincidence? Merci beaucoup. I think we use like if someone's steamed, it means they're angry. If someone's hot under the collar, it means they're angry. And so the opposite, like to be cool or to chillax or chill out, just means to be calmer. So there is some relation. It is related to heat. But yes, it's definitely chilly outside right now. I could also go make chili later, but that's a food item. It's slightly different. Let's see here. I'm going to get another question from the forum, and I'll keep an eye on the chat here as I do that. From Alicia. Hi, Bob. Nice to meet you in streaming. Here isn't a question. Here is the question. Do you like to read books? Tell us, please, some of your favorite ones. Yes, I do like to read books. In fact, who just told me that Matt Haig put a new book out? One of you told me last week, and I can't remember who. I haven't bought it yet, but I did like the one about the dogs. That was a good one. So some of my favorite ones. Almost any science fiction book I've probably read, and I probably enjoyed. Let's see here. From Hafiz, when I use the word chillax, my nephews and nieces look at me like I said something I'm not supposed to say. I must be their lame uncle. I think because that word isn't as common anymore. Like maybe 5 years ago, there was a time where it was really used, but now maybe you sound like an older person trying to be cool. A lame uncle would be a good way to put it. Ralph, can be skipped if it's too hard to do. Bob, please try to pronounce curse again. Yesterday it sounded so funny. I don't know. I think I said kukusur. I'll have to look up the actual pronunciation. Should I do that now? No, I'll do that later. Mode. You went to a couple Blue Jay games, right? Did they all happen in the Skydome building, aka Rogers Center? If you keep going there, they might be tempted to rename it Roberts Center. Yes, we've seen all the games we've seen have been home games. We've seen 2. And we've sat in the Rogers Center in the nosebleeds in the 500 section, the cheap seats. It has been fun. And we might go to one more this year, but I don't know. Probably not because the season's almost over. I don't think they're going to rename the stadium though. No, that says, I read a 5-finger exercise in connection with straightforward. I mean, a kind of synonym for it. Yeah, it might be. Maybe in the UK. Not something I'm familiar with here. Mode says it was Unsel, I think. Yes, I read the comment. Yes, I think it was from Unsel on my short lessons, I think. No, that says, by the way, how was the market on Thursday, Bob? Was it a big change for you this week with being at school in the morning and then at the market in the afternoon? Thanks. Yes, it was a long day. I commented to Jen, I'm not used to working like 14-hour days because I worked at school till about 2:30 and then at market till 7, 8 o'clock at night. So it was a long day. Market was good though. The weather was perfect. Like 20 degrees and sunshine is perfect weather for market. It was really, really nice. Freddie Wolf says, Bob, Jen has done her farmer's videos with her sisters. Is there a chance you would make one with any of your siblings, or wouldn't they show up on camera? They might. I would probably have a good chance of getting my brother on camera. I just haven't really asked. I should ask at some point if they would be willing, if some of them would be willing to do it. From Max, hello, Bob, and thanks in advance. Can you describe the difference between variety and variation? So I'm trying to think, like we sell a variety of flowers at market, and there is some variation between each flower. So I would say this, variety means lots. If you go to a candy store, they have a lot of varieties, okay? But if you're looking at chocolate-covered almonds, and then one company makes them this way, and there's a little bit of variation in the way the other company makes it. So it means like a slight difference. So that's the best I can do for that one. That's a tricky one for sure. No, that says, do you have any plans for the weekend, or can you just relax a bit and do some prep for school and next week? Yes, my plan is to do nothing this afternoon. I will not succeed. I will find something to do. But my plan is to have a relaxing afternoon and a nice day tomorrow as well. That's how it should go. Mode says he already showed his brother the bobblehead. What are you talking about, Freddie? Yes, I have a little brother, the little bobblehead guy, if you want to call him that. We're going to go here and then back to no display. Garfield says, how long have you had the bush behind you? So this bush has been here probably more than 10 years. I can't actually remember. It's kind of blocking your view of the river, isn't it? I should have set up a little differently so you guys could see it. But yes, for a while. From Malik, if a bear runs in from behind you, will you run away? So thankfully, there are no bears in my part of Canada. If you drive north about 2 or 3 hours, you will find bears, black bears, I think. But there are no bears here. So no worries. I would probably more likely be attacked by a goose than by a bear. And I think that would be highly entertaining. We would have to switch to this camera while I run around being chased by a goose. But no chance of bears attacking me. In the chat, Madi is here. Hi, Madi. Hello, Bob and everyone. I'm too late, but I'm always watching the short videos and Friday lessons. Nothing, just wanted to say hi. Well, thank you for doing that. Very, very cool. So Kevin says, hi, Teacher Bob. Can you imitate the sound when you are calling over the animals on the farm? I'm really curious about that. Thank you. So we don't currently make a sound, but when I was a kid, we would yell, this is not English, by the way. I think this might be Dutch, but we would yell kobas to get the cows to come. So we would go out to the field and we would be like, kobas, kobas, kobas. And then that, for some reason, that would make the cows come to the farm. Right now, we don't do that. Dutch word kobas. I don't know. I don't know if that was just my family. Calling cows in Dutch. I'm just looking it up now because I'm curious. No, that's definitely not what we said. Anyways, that's what we yelled. Kobas. It's not English. It is possibly Dutch. Thanks for answering all my questions, Bob. No problem. Know that. Freddie says to Mode Egg. So Bob has 3 brothers and 2 sisters then. Yes. 1 little bobblehead, 2 real brothers, and 2 sisters. Let me get another question here. Lolly says, Bonjour, Bob. Where are you hiding Oscar and Walter? They are out in the field with Jen right now. So they are, if you've watched Jen's videos, for those of you that aren't familiar with Jen's YouTube channel, she does have a YouTube channel. I'm looking it up right now. You will then understand where Walter and Oscar are. So let me get this link here and I'll put it in the chat. Jen's channel. I'll paste that there. Those dogs just love her and they follow her around all the time. So we're going to go back to subscriber chat mode so everybody can chat again. And then I'll post it again, Jen's channel. So it's not an English learning channel, by the way. If you like flowers and you want to see the flowers and how they are grown, it's a great channel to go and visit. But let's see here. Ralph says kobas means come boss, right? It might. That's Lolly saying, can you imitate the rooster? And Ralph says, yes, the origin of kobas reduce the form of come and boss. Okay. Interesting. Maybe you're calling the boss cow. I don't know if you guys are familiar with cows, but when you put cows in a field, one cow becomes the boss, like the head cow. And maybe you're calling the boss cow and then the other cows will come. So that's possibly what is happening. Anyways, thank you to all of you who are members. I'm not ending the live stream. I'm just saying thank you to those of you who are members. And thank you to the 343 people who are watching. Let's get some more questions out. And we will keep going for another 20, 25 minutes. I think, did I do this one? Yes. Where are Walter and Oscar? They are on Jen's YouTube channel. That's where they are. From Habiba. Give me some advice for high school because I'm in my 3rd year of high school this year. Love you, Bob. Biggest advice I would give is read everything twice. If the teacher does not give you homework, do some homework anyways. Like review what you learned that day. Do talk to your teachers. Like don't sit at the back. Do talk in class if you have something to offer. The more involved you are, the better it will go for you. So that's the number one thing though, would be take charge of your own learning. Some people expect the teacher to do all the work and somehow the knowledge will just stay in your head automatically. And it doesn't always work that way. So make sure that you are taking charge of your own learning. Let's see here. From John, I come from China. I watch all of your videos almost. It's a little fix there. I want to ask you about listening and speaking, how to learn. I already learned English 2 years and keep 2 hours every day. So the listening, you can do a lot on your own. You can watch videos on YouTube. You can watch TV. You can listen to podcasts. You can listen to music. So you can do a lot. And usually you can find the transcript of a TV show, or you can find the lyrics for a music or for a song. So you can read and listen and kind of build your listening ability. Speaking, though, you have to find a partner. You can speak out that loud. You can read out loud. You can do a lot of things that do help your speaking. But the number one thing I would say is find a speaking partner, someone who can actually have a conversation with you and help you. From Peter. Hello, Mr. Bob. How are you today? Good. Yesterday I missed your live stream, but today I catch your live stream. My question, can you explain be about to, do to, and thanks? So I'm trying to think about be about to, like he might be about to jump in the pool. He might be about to jump in the pool. We do say that, like, what's that guy doing? Oh, he might be about to take his dog off the leash. That's a bad example. But anyways, it just simply means that someone hasn't quite done something and they're going to do it. He is about to bite the sandwich. He is about to take a bite. Due to is simply a relation. Like, the ground was wet this morning due to the rain last night, or this light is shining on me due to the fact that I plugged it in. So you're always connecting something. Hopefully those two make sense. From Oksana. I'm going to run out of water. We'll see. By the way, the sun is shining directly on the camera lens, so hopefully it still looks good. Okay, Oksana, hi. Let me read these before I say them. I would say the first one. I go to school number 17. You might even leave off the word number. I go to school 17. What locker do you have? I have locker 212. I have locker number 212. What parking spot did you put the car in? I parked in 17. I parked in spot number 17. I parked in spot 17. So you don't even need the word number, but the first sentence, I go to school number 17. Each school has a number where I live. Yeah, that's pretty common in some countries, to go to school number 11 or school number 12. So you can say it, but I think if you are speaking quickly and in informal English, you would just say, I go to school 17. Let's see here. From Mikhailo, no questions, but have a wonderful week, Sir Bob. Thank you. I'm going to have a wonderful weekend first, and then next week I will have a wonderful week. But thank you for that. When you say have a wonderful week, it makes me think that it's Monday and I have to go to work, but it's not. It's Saturday. I can still enjoy my day. Let's see here. I need to check something for a moment. Then I will get back to the questions. These are all tangled. Okay, hey, if you're one of the 333 people watching, don't forget to click the subscribe button. There might be one there on your screen, or there might be a button below the video. I love it when people subscribe. It makes me happy. And I like it when there's 336 people watching. That's cool. I'm happy that I'm here and I can help you, for sure. If you're asking questions in the chat, do remember that there is a link to a form. That is the best way to ask your question if you want me to answer it. And that being said, let me get the next question on the screen. From a Muslim, what is the difference between into and onto? So I put the milk into the fridge. I put the bread onto the counter. You could also say in and on. I put the milk in the fridge. I put the bread on the counter. Both are fine. I could say I get into the car. I climb onto... Did I say I climb onto the bus? I went onto the bus. Yeah, possibly. I think we use in and on a lot more. You can use into and onto, but yeah. I climbed onto the top of the van. That's where I would use onto. I climbed into the car. I got into the car. I climbed onto the top of the van. Don't do that. It's dangerous, by the way. Okay, let's see here. From Self-Learner, how to overcome burnout and return to productive work. So it really depends what caused the burnout in the first place. And it really depends how serious it is. I'm not a counselor, so I can't give advice for serious situations where you are experiencing burnout. But if you are experiencing just a little bit of burnout, I would say things like exercise, eating healthy, and a good night's sleep are a great place to start. And then if you are experiencing really serious burnout, like I would find someone to talk to, a professional. That would be my advice. But certainly the precursors to burnout are always eating bad food, like going to the restaurant instead of making good food at home, not sleeping well, and not getting any exercise. If you do those three things, it's like just a good start towards a good, happy day. But yeah, definitely if you are, and then if work is what caused burnout, it can be hard to return to work, and you might want to consider a different kind of work. That's a personal choice though, so it's up to you. In the chat, Brett says, what is going on? Driving, so I will be listening. Well, we're almost done, Brett. Hopefully you are driving for 9 more minutes. You will be able to hear me. I'm not sure if Brent gave me 2 thumbs up to the initial plan for next summer. He was researching how to get to the location we might go to. But so far, Brent and I have one possible destination for this summer. Closer to me than it is to Brent, but we'll see. I'm going to keep it a secret for now. Yeah, drive safe, Brent. Glad you're listening and not watching. That would be bad. From Terabira, what is the difference between assess, which has a few too many S's, and evaluate? So when you assess something or you evaluate something, it can mean the same thing, okay? So if you get in an accident, you might need to assess the damage. Like how many dents are in the car? You might need to evaluate the damage. How many dents are in the car? But assess can mean just the state of something, and when you evaluate something, it can mean you're deciding what it's worth, like whether you like it or not, right? Like I'm gonna buy 2 different mugs for hot beverages, and I'm gonna evaluate which one is better. I'm gonna decide which one is better. You wouldn't use assess then. So you can assess one thing, I think. I know you're gonna need to look those up because they also have more meanings than just the ones I have explained. Here's a good question. Can international students majoring in teaching methodology teach in high schools in Canada? I don't actually know the answer to that, except it might simply depend on where you went to university. So if you go to an American university and you decide to major in education and history, you can teach in a Canadian school. The teaching certificate you get from the state of Michigan or the state of Delaware is transferable to Canada. You might need to take 1 or 2 more courses, but you can most likely teach here. If you got a teaching degree, there might be countries where you wouldn't be able to. It really just depends on if the university you went to is accredited for the degree it's giving out. So tricky. One thing I would say is if you are coming to teach a language, it's probably easier to get a job as a teacher. So if you were going to teach Spanish or French in a Canadian school, and you already had a teaching degree from your own country, it would probably be pretty easy to get a job. Ooh, relationship advice. Hello, Bob. How do you and your wife keep a great relationship with love and respect for many years? Give me advice for avoiding fights. Thanks. Well, you can't avoid fights. The key to a good marriage or relationship isn't avoiding fights. It's what you do after you fight. So it's important when you have a fight with your spouse or with your partner that after you fight, you admit if you were wrong and you apologize. And generally, both people are at fault. So I think good fights end with good apologies from both people. Because even if you end the fight by simply thinking, I did nothing wrong, it's all the other person's fault, that's not going to be a good relationship. But if you end the fight saying, this is how I felt, I'm sorry for the things I said, that might lead to the other person saying, I'm sorry too. And that's just a good feeling. So 1, you can't avoid fights in any relationships. 2, learn how to resolve things afterwards. There's raindrops falling, but it's not raining. I think it's just coming off the tree. That would be my advice. I don't have any better advice than that, because a lot can have to do with who you are with. Jen and I just happen to get along really well. So when we do fight, it's usually, it takes a bit of time, but usually within a day or 2, we have resolved our differences. From Eric, if there's priority booking date of an event when the tickets open to the public, general sale or public sale? Thanks, Bob. So priority booking means somehow you're allowed to buy something earlier than other people. If there are 100 seats on a plane and you're allowed to do priority booking, it means you get to pick before everyone else. And maybe there's a few other people as well. Taylor Swift's coming to town. If you had priority booking, you could buy a ticket before the general public could buy them, okay? Or before sales opened to the general public. That's how we refer to that, the general public. River camera down. Oh, it looks like it. Let me fix it for a sec. I think I know how to fix that. It might have just gone dead, actually. The live stream's still going. I am almost done though, aren't I? So now I need to do this. Don't be alarmed because I have to switch to my desktop camera and then back to the action camera. There we go. Now we have a river cam again. Okay, where were we? Let me see. Questions are actually done. Everything is going good. I think we're going to wrap this up, everyone. I think we're done. It's a little bit early, 3 minutes early, but I think that's okay. I'm going to go inside and warm up my toes. So thank you so much for watching. Let me just check if there is one last question. I don't think there is. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Do remember that this lesson, let's see here, is available to watch right now, the original live stream, but will come out again tomorrow in a shorter format. Do remember that you can join and become a member. There's a button below if that interests you. And then what else was I going to say? Can't remember. Have a good weekend. This was really fun. I hope that you enjoy your Saturday and your Sunday and that you enjoy going back to work. In the chat, know that says, thanks for the awesome Q&A lesson, Bob. As always, it was great hanging around with you. No problem. I wish you and your family a wonderful and relaxing Saturday and Sunday. Greetings to Jen and your kids. Thank you. And I hope you have a good weekend too. Bye to Hafiez, Vitor, Judith, Lolly Lolly, Christopher, Kakachen, Ulia, Unsol, Ruslan, Sani, Know That, Modags. Unsel says, every question and every answer was very entertaining and educational. Thank you and everyone else who contributed to this. Thanks. Have a great weekend. You too. Bye to Freddie Wolf and everyone else. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to hit the end button. I'll leave you with a beautiful view of the river, and then I will end the stream in just a little bit. Bye. You missed it. I just spilled water all over myself. I'm not very good at drinking. Apparently when I turn the camera off, I fail at drinking. But anyways, bye.